Coming up on Mountain News this morning, Floyd County named its new superintendent, but some folks voiced their concerns over prior issues. Plus, one prison program allowed inmates the opportunity to give back to their community and help restore a church.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning. My name is Amelia Lee. I'm here with you on WYMT. Today's date is January 22nd, and we are sitting at 5:30 this morning, and it is cold outside. So let's check in with meteorologist Megan Dusmal to look at our forecast. Megan, tell us about this cold that we're experiencing. I know I wish I hadn't lost my gloves because that was painful.
Yeah, when you said it's cold outside, I just couldn't help but laugh because that's just what the story has been for so long at this point. Yeah, it's cold outside. It's going to continue to be cold outside. I'm sorry you lost your gloves. Definitely should be wearing them today. It's one of those days. But let's take a look outside of that satellite and radar this morning. The good news with this cold is thankfully we don't have any snow this morning. And we don't even have clouds at this moment. We'll continue to see those clouds roll in and out of our area. Looking at those partly cloudy skies throughout today, but again, no snow. There's a positive. Now here are those current temperatures though. And it is quite brutal. We are looking in the single digits all across eastern Kentucky, and as we travel more towards the northwest, you're seeing those negatives start to pop up. We're looking at -6 right now in Irvin, -2 in Ashland and in Lexington. And these are just the ambient air temperatures, not factoring in that feels like temperatures. Now, as we look at the forecast highs, though, we will see some good news looking in the upper 20s for our high temperatures today. And here's how we'll get there. We have a gradual increase of those temperatures. But yeah, it's going to be cold, seeing the coldest temperatures around 8 o'clock when most people are heading out on the road. So be careful out there and be warm. Amelia.
All right, Megan, thank you. The Floyd County Board of Education named Tanya Williams as its new superintendent, but not without some controversy. Williams brings nearly 3 decades of experience in the district, serving as a teacher, as a principal, and then chief academic officer. But her appointment raised concerns for some parents and community members, including Jamie Hall. Hall says her experiences with Williams while she was principal of May Valley Elementary raised questions about her prioritization of student needs.
My child has dyslexia. He also has ADHD. We've tried multiple medicines. They're not working for him. Is there any accommodations in the school you can do for my child? Nothing could be done all year. You know, it was just like cast aside until the very end of the year whenever the testing started. And then all of a sudden he was granted all these accommodations. It was just really disturbing. Like, why couldn't you help him all year? Why are you waiting until now?
Williams also was involved in a 2019 investigation into testing allegations. Her attorney says the only allegation against Williams was neglect of duty and that she voluntarily agreed not to apply for a public school position for 15 months. The board voted 4-1 in favor of Williams, who will begin her role at the end of the month. Williams says she is committed to student well-being and academic success. Kentucky's Education Commissioner is predicting a funding deficit of about $40 million for local school districts. The projected shortfall would be in what is called SEEK funding. That's short for Supporting Education Excellence in Kentucky. A letter from Commissioner Robbie Fletcher says the department is working with the state budget director and legislative leaders to find solutions. Last week, a group called the Kentucky Student Voice Team filed a lawsuit claiming the state does not adequately fund education. Well, the Center for Rural Development announced a $100,000 grant being awarded to the Clay County Fiscal Court. The funding goes toward a broadband expansion project that will serve nearly 150 homes in the Brutus community. Officials say the Clay County Broadband Expansion project is part of the center's Move the Needle initiative and its continued efforts to facilitate broadband access to unserved and underserved areas in southern and eastern Kentucky. The Housing Development Alliance continues to build homes for July 2022 flood survivors. But the winter weather forced construction crews to take a break. They hope to start back on their work sites in the Blue Sky community by Thursday. Although the community is not specifically for flood survivors, officials with HDA say 12 homes were built for them. Scott McReynolds says HDA is building as many new homes as possible.
It's going to be a busy couple of years. we're going to build houses as fast as we can, and probably more than we've ever built. But it's not going to be fast enough for the folks waiting, and that's the hard part.
In total, 32 new homes are completed for flood survivors, with more to come at Skyview in Perry County and other sites throughout eastern Kentucky. Folks interested in higher ground housing throughout the region can go to housingcan'twait.org for more information. Inmates at the Kentucky River Regional Jail are working on several types of community service projects throughout our area. WYMT's McKinley Calandrino caught up with one crew working at a local church in downtown Hazard.
The Kentucky River Regional Jail Work Release Program prepares inmates for life out of jail, prepping them with skills on electrical, plumbing, carpentry, and other manual skills. These are level 1 inmates who get the option to do the labor. Jailer Minor Allen tells us they are not forced to do this, they choose to. With this comes privileges.
They get a little time off their sentences. If they work a month, they'll get so many days off their sentence.
They work with more than 20 churches throughout Perry County, including First Baptist Church in downtown Hazard. Senior Pastor Tim Reynolds says he has worked with them on many projects since the 2022 floods.
It seems like that you spend a day with them and you feel like you've known them for years. They're outgoing, cut up, and at the same time they know that they're here to get a job done.
The inmates are working on the interior of the church where they are painting and will be laying floor next. I was able to talk to some of the inmates today while they were doing their work at First Baptist, and most of them just expressed their gratitude towards Mr. Minor and how they're so grateful that they're able to serve their community while still serving their time. And some of them even said that they wish they would have started it sooner. One inmate that has been working for Minor for 10 months says he is excited to finish his sentence so that he can continue work like this outside of prison.
They're guys that have made a few mistakes. But they want to do better in life.
Grateful for the chance to work to improve the community while working to improve themselves. In Hazard, McKinley Calandrino, WYMT Mountain News.
The inmates work Monday through Friday all year long. The World Economic Forum is happening in Switzerland. One of the guests is Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear. Some observers say it could be a chance for him to raise his profile ahead of a presidential bid.
Still amazing that we were personally invited to talk about how we've broken every economic development record in the books, that all of these companies from around the world want to hear our story, an opportunity to bring back more jobs and more prosperity. I am so proud to represent us.
A Morning Consult poll puts his approval rating at 65%. That is the third highest in the country and the highest of any Democratic governor. One Louisville police officer who survived being shot during the Old National Bank mass shooting was honored on Tuesday morning. Officer Nick Wilt and 3 other officers who survived the April 2023 shooting were recognized by Mayor Craig Greenberg. Greenberg says their sacrifices paid a meaningful cost, with their recoveries ranging from weeks to months to even years. The mayor says while they continue to make great strides, it is important to remember the sacrifices already made.
All 4 of these great men survived. But they survived at a meaningful cost to themselves, to their families, and to their fellow officers. Their stories are important to be told, to be known by the community, so we can thank them for their service and their colleagues who each serve us every day.
Among the other officers recognized, Brandon Haley, Brendan Kerner, and Lochner Sakara. A Laurel County man pleaded guilty to money laundering to pay for personal luxuries. Joshua Pennington pleaded guilty to a federal charge of conspiracy to commit laundering. Officials say between May of 2020 and June of 2021, Pennington used federal small business loans through COVID-19 relief programs to pay for cars and motorcycles and even his wife's plastic surgery. If convicted, Pennington faces up to 10 years in prison. His now ex-wife, Nicole, also faces federal wire fraud and money laundering charges. Folks are concerned after a church was damaged in Harlan County this past weekend. Kentucky State Police say Christian Fellowship Church in Everett was damaged, including the church's van and an outbuilding. Officials say they think the damage happened between Saturday evening and Sunday morning. Trooper Shane Jacobs says folks going to service on Sunday should not have to arrive to a damaged church.
It's just uncalled for. And why an individual would go to such a location or any location to cause any type of damage, whether it's their outbuilding, their van, or their building, is just uncalled for.
Jacobs says church members are now offering a reward for any information that leads to the arrest and the conviction of the person or people responsible for the burglary. If you know anything, you can call state police. In Clay County, police are asking for help finding a missing man. If you look at your screen, you can see a picture of Shane Wesley Robinson. According to sheriff's deputies, he was last seen on November 25th in Laurel County. Deputies believe he could be in the Greenbrier area of Clay County or the Feltner Street Road area of Laurel County. If you have any information, you can contact the Clay County Sheriff's Office at 606-598-3471. When we return, Mr. Beast is throwing his hat in the ring to buy the world's biggest social media app, TikTok.
And no snow is in today's forecast, but I'll tell you the next time that you can expect it up next.